The NBA season is officially over, and of course a team named the Bucks won it all. What's new? Anyway, just because the season is over does not mean that card prices will remain flat on a handful of players, and that's because starting August 2nd, free agency negotiations begin, which means that a handful of players will be changing teams. That will be affecting who's expected to win next year, as well as the values of the complementary players on those teams. Now, this may not be the most overwhelming free agent class that we've had, but regardless, I'll share with you the players that are restricted, unrestricted, and player option free agents, as well as where their current card values are at, so you could scoop them up now while everyone is shifting their attention elsewhere. So with that being said, welcome back. Now let's get to work. All right, guys, let's get started with number 5, which is John Collins of the Atlanta Hawks. Now, he is a restricted free agent and will probably stay in Atlanta, but with his softer prices, it could be an extra bonus if Atlanta doesn't match the offer sheet. So let's take a look at his prices right now. And you see here, his PSA 10 in Prism Silver topped out at $620 in December. Obviously, that was a completely different market. The last sale, just $130. So if you believe in John Collins, at least to somewhat of a degree, with Atlanta or somewhere else, definitely look there. And you see the Optic Holo and base Prism PSA 10. Base Prism PSA 10 is now down to $54. So that's pretty cheap. Next one is Kyle Lowry. The one thing that's bad about his cards is that the pop count is extremely low. So he is a unrestricted free agent, and he might want to go to a championship contender, win another ring, because he got one with Toronto. Let's take a look at Kyle Lowry's cards, and it is like you can't see anything here. You have one dot up here. What is this? Topps Chrome PSA 10, $411. A Topps Chrome PSA 9, $211. There are just very few cards, but the way I see it with Kyle Lowry is that if you are just at a card show, if you're at a card shop and you see some of his 2006 Topps Chrome rookie cards, maybe you just buy a couple raw ones for $5, $10, see how low you can get it, and just hold on, because Kyle Lowry could easily go to a championship contender, get another ring, or at least be a part of a playoff run. So just make sure to keep that in the back of your mind next card show or card shop you go to. Number 3 is Chris Paul, and he actually has a player option on his contract, so that means that he could leave, but based on how the Suns did so well throughout most of the season and into the playoffs until the last couple of games, I would imagine he stays with the Suns. And if we take a look at his prices, see here, it's definitely fallen off the last couple of days and weeks. You have his PSA 10 down to $701 as Topps Chrome PSA 10, $701. The sale after that actually bounced back up to $750, but regardless, if he stays with the Suns, then it's probably just going to remain soft and go down a bit more up until next year. Another thing to consider is that I saw the next season starts in October, which is a very short off season again. So I got to confirm the date, but I remember seeing October was the beginning of the 21-22 season, which is only a few months away. It's literally like 2 months, 2.5 months, not a lot of time. But Chris Paul, personally, I would just wait a bit longer because I bet he would stay with the Suns. All right, number 2 is DeMar DeRozan. Bleacher Report said that he's more than likely to change teams. Unfortunately, he's 31, he's not collectible, and his pop report, like the cards that are actually graded, is super, super low. So it's going to be very difficult to even find one of his cards. But I might as well show you what his charts are like anyway. And you see here, this one right here with the most amount of sales, this is just his Topps rookie card raw. And again, it's one of those things where it's like, all right, $9, $10, maybe you just find them for $5 at a card show. Again, more than likely, you're not going to find one of these Topps Gold number to 2009 raw cards out in person. His Topps base PSA 9, $50 right there. But the pop, I mean, pop is 94 for a PSA 9, 31 for a PSA 10. So even if several more of those are coming back from PSA, again, if you run into the card, maybe you pick it up knowing that he's a free agent and he's going to move somewhere, but more than likely, you're not going to even find his cards. And that takes me to number 1, which is, of course, Kawhi Leonard. He does have a player option. I would imagine he stays in LA because he could extend for one more year. But what's kind of nice is that Kawhi Leonard has he has the rings. He's a great player. He's always under, I wouldn't say undervalued, but he's always like under the radar because of his personality. He's a very quiet guy. And if he doesn't leave LA this year, he could win a championship with LA this upcoming season, or he could have the player option and then just play one more year here in LA and then become a free agent next year. So again, Kawhi Leonard, to me, it's just a very good overall investment, because if you take a look at his prices, obviously in the craziest boom we saw, his PSA 10 base prism went up to $6,200. Then recently in the last bubble, $38.99, so about $3,900. And then the last couple sales, if I just go to the last 30 days, you see here bottomed out at $800. Then the last two sales, $850, $891. I think people are starting to buy in on Kawhi Leonard at these prices, knowing that even if he does stay in LA, he might win a championship, he might become a free agent next year, and he has several championships under his belt with plenty of years left. So definitely look at Kawhi Leonard. I just feel like the downside's pretty low for him, and the upside is a lot higher. And then lastly, guys, I know that wasn't the best free agency class, and a lot of the cards are tough to find, but I want to show you this article here by Bleacher Report, because this is what's important, is the teams that have cap space, because these are the teams that can actually make plays for some of these guys and really improve themselves. So we definitely have the Raptors, and there's already talks about a Pascal Siakam trade. So keep your eyes on the Raptors. Then there's also the Spurs, the Mavs. I mean, the Mavs is the big one because you have Luka drawing people in. You have Mark Cuban as the owner. You have no income tax in Texas. The Mavs would be huge. So even with Luka, I would think to myself, maybe it's time to go in on Luka now because of what they could do. Because they're not going to deal Luka. They're going to actually bring in another player or do what they can. He's the one piece I would feel very confident about. But because of all the benefits of playing in Dallas with Luka, Cuban, and tax situation and whatever else, I would look at Luka's cards, the ones that you like, soon, because just landing another player could really pump up Luka's prices and actually have them do well next season. All right, Miami Heat as well. They got $28 million in cap space. Jimmy Butler and all the rest are back. I don't know too much about the Heat, but again, if you know more about the Heat, keep your eye on their situation, because maybe it's a good time to get in on Jimmy Butler cards or Tyler Hero or some of the other guys based on what they can do. And of course, lastly is the Knicks. And if you're an RJ Barrett fan and you believe in him, he might be the player to go in on now, because landing one superstar, one good trade could really put the Knicks in a much better situation, and that'll help RJ Barrett as well. And I thought real quick I'd show you RJ Barrett's charts right here. And this is just his PSA 10 in silver and in base prism. And you see, this has been really flat for a while. So since, let's see, 6/10, whatever month that was, I forgot, June, $350 for his silver, and then all the way over here we have 6 weeks later $354. So this has been very flat for a long time. Because it's silver, I don't know how many more will come back from PSA versus his 7,500 or so that are base, in which case his base is now down to $63 for a 10. But really, if you like RJ Barrett, hey, you can get his silver for about $350, and it's remained flat. And lastly, I know Damian Lillard has been the center of attention around trade rumors, so I wanted to show you his prices as well. And just like RJ Barrett, if you take a look at Damian Lillard's PSA 10, really since May all the way up till now, it's been very flat. So $840 for his PSA 10 Prism rookie card, only a pop of $923. It looks like that's a very solid floor right there, based on the pop, based on him, who he is on the court, what he can do in the next several years with the right team. You also have his select rookie card, which I have several of. I think it's a beautiful card. The last sale went up to $595 for a PSA 10. I think that's a lot. So maybe but the pop is only $183. But either way, a little bit of info on this. Damian Lillard is one of the few rookies in 2012 to actually have a select rookie card that is not just an insert or just an auto, like one of those Band-Aid autographs. but like this card specifically. And I bought several of these cards, but just something to keep your eye on. If the prices continue to go up, I probably would not buy Damian Lillard cards in case it's all rumor and nothing actually happens. But if the prices are flat, like on the Prism PSA 10 here, where you could still get in at 800 bucks, 850, then to me, I think there's a lot of upside. If you have any bold predictions on what trades you think will go down or where you think some of these star players will end up, leave it in the comment section. I'd love to be able to reference it in the future if you are right. Make sure to pound that like button as well if you got a little insider value from this video. I will see you all at the National.